So here's the polling. Can you guys answer this for me? Which is the largest art museum in the world? Louvre,
Met.
the Met. Click on it, my friends. Click on it. Museum d'Orsay. Just click, please.
Well, we need to define art, I guess.
Yes, yes. I'm going to end the polling, and you are correct. It's the Louvre.
And by the way, I said the Met, but I wasn't the one that put the Met.
I don't know your
We
full
don't
answer.
believe you, Wahid.
No, that's the truth.
So hold on. I kind of threw you out there. Why? In the world, it is the Louvre, but in the United States, America, it is the Met. So now you know. Okay, I'm going to go to screen share with you and begin my presentation. And at any point you cannot see my screen, I'm going to rely on you to tell me that you cannot see it. And let me do a screen. Okay, so these are the numbers I would like you to keep in mind. 2 million square feet of buildings at its Fifth Avenue, because there's a cloisters that's part of the Met as well. More than 2 million works of art, incredible. Welcomed over 7 million visitors. So clearly this is up until 2019. Now, the Met just celebrated 150th birthday, so it is amazing. It began 1820, so up until 2020. And hold on. So this is the Met. It's made up of 9 different architects. So I figure I lay this out in such a way as if we're going on a journey. And when you go upstairs, you'll be greeted by Roman and Greek gallery. We're going to explore the Roman gallery first. Can you imagine how many? I'm just wondering how many of you visited the Met before? If you could just raise your hands, I could see you. Those of your cameras working. Okay. Cameras, yes, 3, 4. Okay, just 4 of you. That's pretty good. So this, if you were at the Met maybe 15 years ago, it didn't look like this. It was a public cafeteria. And then the Roman curator decided, hey, why do we have cafeteria on the first floor? It's our prime real estate. Let's move the cafeteria downstairs to the lower level and bring our artifacts, antiquities out from our warehouse. And when they lifted the carpet, voila, you were greeted by all these mosaic tilings right here in the front. And all of these artworks were shared now with the world. I thought quickly, let's go visit one of my favorite rooms. Some of you may have been to Pompeii in Italy, and maybe you have came across ruins like this. So what's so interesting is you could see the melted metal rods at the back of the window. Do you notice that? And the curators decided keep that in there because it adds the charm of what really happened when Mount Vesuvius eruption occurred and everyone died instantaneously. But I thought it's so interesting before we examine this room a little bit more closely, these ingredients. Most of these ingredients, not most, some of these ingredients we've actually been eating, but also using them as a pigment, paint. Like the one on the right, my favorite one, this bug. Anybody recognizes this insect, this bug? Because you've been all eating it or drinking it, maybe more so drinking it. Cochineal. This is what Starbucks used 3 years ago for their strawberry frappuccino. And you crush it and you get beautiful purplish red. Ladies, or even gentlemen too these days, blushes, lipsticks, cochineals is the ingredient, I tell you. And it's got protein, it's good for you. And you're thinking, oh no, Maria, I didn't do any of those. How about strawberry yogurt? It's in there too. And those of you who like adult beverages, Campari, Aperol, Italian drinks, my friends, those are in there. So imagine 2,000, even 5,000 years ago, using these natural ingredients. And this, if you love paella, yellow rice, any chef in the room, you recognize the spice? No, yes, maybe. Saffron. So you crush it and you get beautiful yellow color. So I put it in there because imagine using these ingredients to paint rooms like this. And it's just so stunning. But I thought we were looking at the interior of the room, but what do you see instead? What do we see instead? We're looking at inside of the room earlier, and when we go close, you're looking at the exterior of the buildings. Is it just me? Yes. So what are they doing here? Because this was a villa, summer villa, speculation, maybe a little girl's bedroom. And they're bringing outside in. So how clever is that? They're bringing outdoor into the interior design of maybe potentially a girl's bedroom. So you see more columns, architectural facades. It is fascinating idea. And Christian saying, no, I'm having my Starbucks right now, but hopefully you're having coffee, not strawberry frappuccino. So I just put there historically as a reminder why. And to this day, they're still finding discoveries. They found recently human remains, but books are being discovered and people are x-raying, 3D scanning, find out what really happened and how did they live. So it's interesting to see the Met has little fragment of the culture that was instantaneously vanished due to volcanic eruption. So Christian is also saying, can we assume that the painting on the room may actually what had been outside this room? You mean outside, like maybe room linking to the bedroom, like living room or the meeting room? Yes, because it's part of the villa. So the rooms may have been multiple. Oh, Christian, we could see you. We could see you. Okay, so your camera is working. So yes, that is true. But most generally, the rooms inside that we just talked about, but mostly they try to project happy, celebratory. Think of Dionysus or God of Wine all over the villa. And you could still see that today if you were to go to Pompeii. Okay, now, right next to the Roman and Greek gallery is Oceania Gallery. Now, Oceania, this room came about because of one of the Rockefellers, philanthropist Rockefellers. Which one? Michael Rockefeller. He fell in love with everything island, ocean, Caribbean art. And he came to the museum, and this is one of the new additions. That's why I'm putting it in here. You could see from the tone and the color of this room, most of the artwork, if not all, what colors do we see? Please share on the chat box if you want to raise your hand or shout out your answers. Pink, green, neon, gold. Thank you, Francesca. Brown, wood. Yes, yes, yes. Wait, Edie, you nailed what I was going for. Where are you, Edie? There you are. So is that how you say your name, or is it, how do you say Eddie?
It's Eddie, yeah.
Eddie. Okay, Eddie,
Either way,
so
yeah.
you're right. You nailed what I was going for. I was going to say, what color do you see? And what do you think they're all made out of? Wood. It's all made out of trees. So it's interesting to see that. And just, you need a reminder, here's all the islands that the artwork have came from. There are roughly 26,000 islands. And then you've all heard of Fiji water. I mean, I see that in my local grocery store all the time. I'm sure there's one in Seattle. One of you are joining us from Seattle, right? Christian, that's you again. Okay, so Fiji water, but the Fiji water is not from that island, let me tell you. But it's just nice marketing. But having said that, look at all of these islands. I thought today I'd take you on a journey to Vanuatu Island, right here next to Fiji. And here's first work of art. I want you to take a look at this. Do not underestimate how it looks. What stands out to you? Because if I am standing, maybe I would match the pedestal of the lower ones, maybe. It's pretty big. Oh, Antonio, you want me to go to New Zealand? I'm sorry, I'm taking you to more exotic island. You might like New Zealand. I think Vanuatu equally as fascinating. I hope you're not too disappointed. Okay, so what stands out to you? Those big, gigantic eyes, right? Yes, you got it. So the eyes are really intense. If I gave you those pair of gigantic eyes, would you take them? I don't know. I have to think twice, even if big eyes sounds really attractive. Those are way too big. So imagine big eyes, you could maybe, just maybe see the future. What else is big? Big, you could type it in as well. Body, mouth, nose. Yes, Michelle, nose. So would any of you take the nose? Big nose? Well, I think all of it would say no, right? But imagine if we all had big nose, we could smell the danger. Ooh, see the future. I'll take it maybe. And smell the danger. Now, some of you wrote mouth. Where is it? That's my question to you. Which part looks like a mouth to you? Because I don't know. I mean, we discussed the eyes and nose. That's more obvious. Where is the mouth? Is this what you think over here on the right underneath it, like the U shape? Yes. Oh, the tongue is out. That's what you're thinking. Okay. And then what about over here in the middle? This cut. Okay, this is really confusing, I know. Next pictures maybe going to give you away, but the back looks like this. Did you ever expect back will be carved like this? And what is that image of? Oh, Eddie, you're saying empty soul. That's really deep.
Hole in the middle.
Oh, the hole in the middle looks like an empty soul. Okay, hold on. This is the back of this work. They would have been 3 identical work. The bottom part is missing. It's been destroyed. But the back is kind of surprising. Some people say, I see a frog. But if you try to do that, make that gesture, something about gravity, power of physics. If you kind of bend your elbows and bend your knees and you're standing up, it just, I don't know what it is. It feels much better when you bounce, when you bounce. Why am I telling you this? Because look at the title. It says The Slit Gong. You're looking at the world's largest musical instrument. Are you surprised? Now, hold on. I'm going to stop this because I want you to hear it. Hold on. Can you hear it? So they're banging on it on the side, but this particular one at the bed is so big, you would have to stand up and kind of bang, 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 bang on the side like a drum. Here's an interesting story that's only shared internally, but I'm going to share with you just amongst our group, even if this is recorded. Just please do not leave thebooking.com. Okay, first curator, when Michael Rockefeller proposed a new addition to the Met, saying, hey, I want you to go over there, commission all many works as you can. Money is not an issue. And he did go. And this is 3 sets that you see here, largest musical instrument that safely came back to America. And the curator never came back home. No one to this day knows what happened to that first original curator. So the second curator went back to finish unfinished business. He came back safely. There's speculation that maybe, just maybe, he was sacrificed to their ancestors, but he disappeared. So having said that, the 3 musical instruments you see in front of you, they were channeling their ancestors. And that cut in the middle, that could have been voided soul or empty soul, like Eddie was saying, that's the projection of the voice and the mouth. Isn't that amazing? And then the next one is, empty soul. Do you want to talk about it? Who's asking this question? Do you want to talk about it? Please enlighten me if I am. I'm following the chat box over here. No additional
Because of
comment?
you, Temis.
Did
Yeah,
you
it
say?
felt like it felt to me that you want to talk about it, and why you feel that it's like an empty soul.
Because it's what I project.
Share. It's a
onto-
safe environment, you can share it.
No, it's not a safe environment. It's recorded,
Well,
so cannot share it. Sorry.
true.
I could
We'll
stop
take it offline. Let's park it now. Let's put it in the parking lot.
Okay, we're gonna move on that. Long time ago. How long? Archaic period, which is known as, well, this is roughly 2,500 years old. So I thought we talked about the Roman gallery. Why not visit Greek gallery too? Because Romans really copied everything from the Greek. I want to give them equal amount of time and space. This is Koros. Koros means young boy. You're looking at the young boy right now, but what's so magical about this sculpture? Well, this is their first attempt to create movement, motion. What do I mean by that? Look at the profile on the back. And my other secret to you is when you're looking at a sculpture, please don't just look at the front like a painting. It is not a painting. I recommend you highly to check out the back. If anything, go to the back first, okay? That's my advice to you, working in the museum world for 20 plus years. Somebody wrote it. Who wrote it? Walking. It looks like he's walking. That space right in the middle. That is incredible. But something about his hands, like fisting like this on the side, it's like, oh, how you wish it was a little bit more loose. But they didn't know how to do that at the time when this was made. 580 BC. So can you imagine? This was their first attempt to create a boy walking in motion. And of course, it has the influence of Egyptian art. So a lot of people do get confused. Maybe, just maybe, this is Egyptian art, but no, it's from the Greek culture. But I thought I'd compare this quickly and take you to the Louvre. Why? The one on the right. Goddess of Victory, Nike of Samothrace. That was an island that this sculpture was found. 390 years later, look how much these Greek artisans perfected movement and naturalism and realism. Look at that. Do you see the difference? So they successfully created. And by the way, this is what Nike copied for the logo, the check shape, right? So you could see it from the wing, Goddess of Victory. This sculpture on the right is about 18 foot long, tall. Now, many artists are using this Koros as their inspiration. Contemporary artist Isamu Noguchi, Japanese American, is one. He was so inspired by this Greek sculpture, he made his own version. So look at that. You might say, hey, Maria, I don't recognize the boy at all. But it's okay. This is the beauty of modern art. You get to use your imagination to make connections if you want to. Some people say, hey, that little head could be the circular part on the top could be the head. By the way, can I just be transparent with all of you, even though this is being recorded? Everything is copied. I don't want to say, but the most important thing is you have to make it your own. And I think everyone's trying to do that. So here's another inspiration using the Koros. And we talked about the modern art, so we're going there. This is contemporary art. Yes, it could also fit into modern, but contemporary. Why am I saying that? This artist is still alive. Kerry James Marshall. He's Black American. He's doing really, really well. And I thought, why don't we talk about this quickly? What are some of the things that stands out to you? You could use the chat box for me. Definitely, this is what you want to do. Hot summer day, right? We want to go sailing. But then something is happening in the background. If you could take your eyes there. What's happening in the background? Or nothing's happening. I don't know. Oh, storm, you are correct. So you can see, so you use the word storm. Yes, yes, yes. And the weather condition is not that great. And you could see the passengers on the boat. Now, some of the borders look like it's broken, right? Now, I want you to look at this because it's titled Gulf Stream. And first thing that came to my mind was Gulf Stream. Another artist titled that exact same thing. And that artist is right here. Winslow Homer. He painted a lot of water scenes and he's an American artist. So it's so interesting. And this painting is so fun in itself just to look at it. But why are we comparing this with Kerry James Marshall? Because he too visited the museum like you are doing now. Well, not virtually, but it's interesting to see the connection there because look at the man. He's surrounded by sharks. Yep, sharks. But he's got no worry in the world. How do you do that? I want to be him right now. What's in the background a little bit, just like we did earlier with Kerry James Marshall's painting. There seems to be a storm, but wait a minute, did the storm already come or is it about to come? Yes, Christian, some things are broken and there's chunk out of the side. So the answer is, it already came or not? I think Christian kind of, yes, Francesca, it already passed. You got it. So that's why he's not worrying about it as much. And yet, when Winslow Homer's gallery advisor wanted to sell this painting, they couldn't. Until one of the potential interested client approached the gallery and said, hey, listen, I will buy it if Winslow Homer could tell me what happened to this boy. Now, my question to you is, does it really matter? The beauty of painting like this is for you as an audience to use your own imagination and go with your story, your own version of the story. He just told the client, there's a boat at the end, there's a boat, and you could put your money on it. It was sold. So the stories that one must compromise to make yourself known is interesting to me. So Kerry James Marshall is using that information for his own interpretation, which is copied, but these passengers are all Black. So what is he saying about them? He was channeling transatlantic slave. So how over 292 slaves were packed up together and traveling. So he was just making a more deeper, heavier conversation. So what appears to look like souvenir on your vacation trip postcard-like image using glitter borders. Now, I put down YouTube on here. Why? Because how hot is Kerry James Marshall? Well, I know this is kind of somber note, but on an up note, I'm going to share quick auction clip with you. This auction is like 10 seconds long.
Lot number 5A is the Kerry James Marshall, and I'm going to start the bidding at $6 million. $6,500,000, $7 million now at $7 million, $7,500,000 now with Amy Capalazzo at $8 million. So $9 million now this side, $9,500,000, $9 million, $10 million, Amy. It's ahead of you at $10 million, $11 million now. $12 million here, at $12 million now, $13 million here. It's Jackie Spinner at $13 million.
Now, how much do you think it went up to? Any guesses? This is the same artist I just shared with you. Okay, did everyone write that? Let me see. Whoa! I'm going to show it to you from my presentation, and you'll be surprised to see who bought it, if you want to know. Maybe you've seen it on the news. Maybe Christian did. I don't know. Let me go there. Boom. Most of you got it right. I'm super impressed. Wow. $21.1 million. And why am I talking about it? With the Black Lives Movement here in America, museum is moving towards that direction to showcase more of their talent, their messages, their concerns. So you might come across special exhibition or galleries just to talk about their history, their voices. And then over here, I thought I'd take you to Egypt. And this room is so beautiful. How is it beautiful? When this was built 2,000 years ago, when Roman emperor, not Egyptian, Roman emperor, and you know who this is? Augustus Caesar was in charge. And I call this, and this is also those of you like fashion, Met Gala. Where do you think they throw the party? It's this room right here, Temple of Dendur. Yes, and certain nights it gets lit up. So if I told you over 2,000 years ago when this was built under the leadership of Augustus, it was all painted in different shades of rainbow using the beetle bug that we discussed earlier. Remember Starbucks? And then saffron, the spice, malachite, the green rock, and lapis lazuli, only to name a few. But you could see this video projection is showing you how it would have looked. 1960s, monsoon. It rained nonstop for 3 months. What happened to this beautiful temple for Egyptian gods that Augustus Caesar built? It was drowning. Yeah, it was flooded. That's right, Christian. Did you see this space? This is the room where the parties are happening. Any parties, really. It's not just for the Met Gala. Any corporate parties are welcome. You haven't seen it. Christians, you're shaking your head. So it's fascinating to see that because they're all washed away and gone. So this is another part where I stop because I actually shot a video for you. So as if you're really there walking in the galleries with me. Let's go there. So you come in, this is the different perspective of the Temple of Dendur. It was built right by the Nile River. So Met decided to create that facade and you could see all the beautiful carvings. And by the way, he told the artisans when Augustus Caesar built this, he told the artists, listen, I want you to carve an image of me all over it. So whichever image that he's making an offering like this, giving, presenting, that is Augustus. So he's making an offering to who? Osiris, Isis, Horus. Look how big the space is from inside. And this is more of Augustus giving offering to Isis, wife and sister of Osiris, who is the god of the underworld. And you must pass Osiris's test in order to be reborn. So it's just so beautiful to see that in this scale. And because it got flooded, Egyptian panicked and they called America and saying, can you please help us to preserve our history? 640 stones total, 640. That's the magic number. And scuba dive and took piece by piece by piece and put it all back together like you see here. Isn't that amazing? Egyptian government thanked everyone, those who came to help and said, you know what? We're going to present this temple as our thanks to Americans as a gift. This is why it is sitting here in this manner with the glass windows. Why? It's facing the east side of New York City. And as you know, what's rising up on the east side? The sun. So the most important god is the rock, sun god, right? So this temple is facing the sun god. And I think Egyptians were so very impressed. They said, yes, the ownership goes to the Met. I'm sure Getty Museum wanted it. Chicago Art Institute wanted it in America. And they said, no, rightful owner, the Met. So it's just so spectacular to see this. This is where Beyonce performs, sings for the Met Gala. And then I thought I'd take you to one of my other favorite Egyptian room, 1920. Imagine we're all archaeologists, and we came across a pleasant surprise, hidden treasure that has not been touched by looters or anyone else. And when the museum staff discovered this, and thieves, they were just over the moon. It's like Christmas all over again. Hidden spot that no one knew they would find anything. All these hidden treasure that dates back to almost 5,000 years ago. Look at this. They had their own cattle ranch. Can you imagine? So think of the most organic, fresh ingredients you could ever use. Over here, not prosciutto, but probably beef jerky. This is the slaughterhouse. Whoa, right? And over here, these boys, what are they carrying? Any ideas? With the meat, you also need what to go with? Any guesses what these boys are carrying in and out? And of course, my personal favorite are the three guys at the back sitting down. Yes, Quentin, you got it. Wheat or barley. So you could make, bread with that. Beer, why not? So their diets were pretty good. And then the guys at the back, you can't really make it out, is their accountant. So they're keeping track on their scroll how much of barley or wheats are coming in and going. How smart is that? And then, of course, this is the kitchen. This is the kitchen. And this person did so well. He even had his own courtyard, backyard. But my personal favorite is this little statue. Wow. This was the personal assistant to the rightful owner of this room. Who was the owner? And who is this little boy? His name was Wa, and he was a personal assistant to the person who was buried in the hidden chamber. This boy did his job so when the rightful owner named Mekere, these was personal jewelry, so you could see. Yep, and he was buried alive with him together. And this is Isis again. Remember, wife and sister of Osiris. These are the journey that the rightful owner named Mekere is going on a boat to his second life, reincarnation. My question to you is, how are they preserved so well? Any thoughts? It was airtight. No sunlight. Yeah, and this was truly, truly a hidden treasure experience. And by the way, that green color on the bottom of this boat, which are all hand carved, malachite, the green rock that I had shown you earlier, it's got copper in it, and you crush it and you get powder formation called a pigment. You add water for watercolor, you add oil for oil paint, and that's how they painted this. I told you, these objects, this hidden treasure, dates back to almost 5,000 years. It was a pleasant surprise for all, but this room is truly magical. You get to see how they lived, what they ate, what they drank. Okay, moving on to the next gallery. If I could stop this and go to the regular presentation. Any thoughts or comments so far? No. Okay. So you could see it was beautifully painted. And this is the room that I showed you earlier. And I thought I'd take you to another room that is just, it has become one of my favorites. Could any one of you read Arabic? Writing? God, yes, yes, yes. Correct. Thank you for sharing that with us. I'm calling you Mr. Ice Cream. Also, Allah. Yes, Allah. You got it. So why am I pointing this out to you? 2011, not 2001, 2011. This room, Moroccan courtyard, was established, was built for the Met. Why am I pointing out those two dates? You know what happened with 9/11. I was here when 9/11 happened. And I don't want to talk about the bad news, but there was so much hatred in the world. Museum decided we have to educate our fellow audience. That's the only way museum could survive. And that is part of their duty and job. And I agree. So a lot of people were resisting re-renovating this entire section, art of Arab, Islamic art. So when the Moroccan courtyard came about, 2011, people were resisting. So what did they do? They invited 14 artisans from Morocco using 14th century inspiration for the courtyard. And I don't know if any one of you been to Morocco. So if you've been to the courtyard, like in America, our courtyard's in the front, exposed. But in Morocco, it's in between the buildings. So these artisans, knowing traditional method it was used for, look at these tiling. Oh, just so beautiful. These arabesque, beautiful, never-ending, infinite shapes and patterns. This is their depiction of their God. And they stayed at the Met for roughly about 6 months. And then putting them together like a puzzle. This is incredible. This picture I took personally when I was there. You could hear the sound of clink, 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 clink. People working on assembly of the artisans together, and then voila. And if you are allowed, if you ever come, you are allowed to sit on these benches and just hear the voices echoing from the floor underneath. And when you do that, it feels like you're kind of like listening to other people's conversation. And that is exactly what you are supposed to do. That's exactly how it's supposed to sound when you're in Morocco in between the courtyard like this. But the beauty of it is it's all hand carved. And I don't know, this picture didn't do, it doesn't do justice, but the plaster that you saw earlier in the beginning, right here, it's got pinkish tone to it. Our plasters here, Home Depot is a giant warehouse for, home goods, usually white. This one's got pink. You could only find it in Morocco. So they were able to bring the raw ingredients used from ancient civilization history and then put it together hand carved. And these artisans were so happy with the New York American hospitality. They gave us a special gift, and they were also in the front of New York Times. How about that, right? They made a writing for us. And where's the writing? You could see it all looks like designs. I know it looks like flowers and leaves, but no. There are words on there. Where are the words? If you could take your eyes over here. Do you see around the edges? Those are the words. I know it doesn't look like words. That's how good they are. It doesn't look like words, but take my word for it. It's supposed to look like that, but the words are right here on the edges. Allah, 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 carved around it to look like continuation of flowers. So this, after they finished building, this was a big accomplishment for the Met. And now everyone's finally coming around. Okay, my another favorite place is this, Chinese Garden. This is the only gallery you're going to see at the Met. Everything is breathing, living like you and I. What's breathing? Look at it. There's actually a banana tree there. Do you see it? On the right. Plants, they change according to the season. Yes. The plants change all the time. And also, there are more plants behind the windows. And those plants are bamboo trees. Not for the panda bear, oh no. Bamboo trees, because it lasts very long time. And also it's there as a reminder to live your life with integrity. Be good to others as you will be good to yourself. And bamboo characteristic. I'm not so much of a nature girl, but bamboo trees, when the wind blows, it moves a little, right? But then it bends, it always bounces back. It bends and it always bounces back. So this entire room, everything opposite, yin and yang, harmoniously balancing, getting along, working together. Who started this room? And is this real? We call it real Ming Dynasty garden. Ming as in 13th century to 17th century. Why? They use traditional method, just like the Moroccan courtyard. They use artisans who grew up listening to the special techniques to create this garden from Suzhou, China. Where's Suzhou, China? That's 2 hours west of Shanghai. So who started this in 1980s? 1980s? Yes, yes, yes. This lady right here, Brooke Astor. Maybe Christian, you've heard of her. She lived to be 105 years old, but she loved art. She went to China when she was about 8 years old with her father, and she never forgot about this garden. And she said before she died, she wanted this building, she wanted this garden that she could go and visit. And that was her mission. With one of the Rockefeller brothers, they went to China, first USA, first China art exchange ever, 1980s. Yes, John Jacob Astor, correct. You got it. Yes, actually, yes. How did you know? He died. He died, Christian. Christian, you want to kind of let other people know? I think they would love to hear your voice if you don't mind.
Yeah, so John Jacob Astor was he was a millionaire. He actually died on the Titanic. He went down with the sinking of the ship with his mistress, I believe it was, who is also, I think, pregnant, right? And he was a financier, if I'm not mistaken, and like he was really big in New York, very well renowned family, and she is what to him? She's not a sister, but a.
I thought it was the father. I thought John Jacob Astor was her father.
What? It's possible. I don't know exactly what their relationship was, but.
Yeah, but very close. Thank you so much. So so Brooke Astor. I personally think she loved her dogs more than her family, as you can see from the picture on the right. They have a lawsuit pending right now with her family, even if she's long gone past. Here's the Chinese garden, also known as the Astor Court, because it is due to her passion that this garden still exists. And during the pandemic last year, there are actually koi pond. There's a pond that's missing from this picture. You could hear the water dripping. And that's something about that sound, the water dripping calms everyone down. So this is a room that encourages Taoism. Go with the flow. Don't be so controlling all the time. Things happen, you fall, just get up, move forward. Okay, so nice to see you. All right, so quickly, I just wanted to showcase another Black American artist named Anasui. He's going to be on your radar if you love to look at modern contemporary art. He's using bottle caps and putting them together like this. His studio is not in America, it's in Nigeria because he wants to support the community. So you could imagine clink, 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 clunk again, and using wire twists to put them together. You see the close-up on the left bottom. Yes, and it eventually becomes gigantic quilt-like structure. So think of a blanket, right? And he's titling this as a communal textile fabric. So all the community coming together, but also thinking about, talking about consumerism, capitalism. How can you use trash and make it into something more and powerful? And can I tell you, just like Kerry James Marshall, not as high, no, but he's selling it in his millions, lower million, like a $1 million, $2 million. Lower sounds funny to me. That's not low at all. But you could see they're doing really, really well. And this is one of my personal favorite European sculpture garden on the right. That was the main Central Park entrance. I told you earlier, 9 architects combined different section, different wings of the Met. Met doesn't call it a building, they call it wings, right? And this is from different perspective, looking out from the second floor. Yeah, I mean, Francesca, this is my favorite. That's why I had to like personally take this. So look out for it next time you come visit. Japanese artist. This is the direction, again, museum is going. What do I mean? Contemporary art, artists that's still living and putting their artwork next to artifacts, antiquities, old work of art versus the new, and have them have a dialogue, conversation. Hidden inside, real deer. And it's glass blown. So it's like glass blown into a bubble. And they're all put together like a puzzle. And the artist called this pixel cell. You know how we have red cell, white cell in us? Yes. And then pixel, we use computer all the time, pixelated. So using pixelated with cells together. And in Japan, reindeers were messenger gods for Buddhism. So when you're standing at a different perspective, different angle, you could see yourself upside down. And this room was just so peaceful. You don't ever get to see that void, emptiness. It's always packed, fully packed in this gallery. And here is Mr. Monet. And this is the Japanese bridge that we know him so well as. He did over 250 variations. And voila, here's a beautiful garden. And I thought I'm going to end it here, Francesca, if it's okay. The roof garden, the rooftop garden is exposed and open seasonally. This is an artist named Alex da Corte. He was born in New Jersey, but grew up in Venezuela. And I don't know, Venezuela, this big bird that I'm used to seeing when I was young was yellow bird. Was it ever a blue bird? Those of you who grew up with Sesame Street or know of Sesame Street, I thought it was always yellow. He's using his childhood images, putting it together into outdoor sculpture. And if you have the time, our time's already come and gone, but if you have the time, I did a video for you. Do you want to see it?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
let's see the video. Here it is. Look at the skylight. That's the rooftop. That's physically outside the Met. And that, according to the wind, it moves. That big bird, the bluebird, it rotates and moves. I'm moving the camera because that day was not windy at all. So imagine this big bird moving in a circular motion. So this is one of those things you should definitely come and see, check out if you're at the Met. So this is your quick Q&A because I went over, sorry.
That's okay. That was great. Thank you very much, Maria. That was really impressive. Thank you.
Any questions or thoughts or comments or surprises? Okay, but Christian, I thank you being my partner in crime with your history knowledge. Okay, I think this is where we say goodbye. I don't want to hold you. Some of you are like midnight over there, no?
Maria, just as a note, so Big Bird actually did turn blue.
He did?
He sang a happiness song. It's called The Bluebird of Happiness. It was one of my daughter's favorites when she was little.
Wow, I thought it was just a South America thing, but thank you. Good to know.
I think to drop more bluebird knowledge, I think in the Netherlands he's always blue. So either he's always sad or he's always blue. That's our present to you, I guess.
Who knew? Okay, everyone, thank you so much. Enjoy your night, day. Good night, good morning.
Thanks, Maria.
Thanks, Maria.
Bye, Maria.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.